South Park is unhinged, and South Park is genius. I think these are two statements that can safely coexist, and for fans of the show, isn't exactly saying anything new. But guys, when I tell you that the streaming wars felt like one of the most insane yet brilliant things this show has ever done, I really mean it. And it's not like they did anything here that really tops a lot of the more infamous moments in the show's history, at least from a shock humor perspective, though I will say, Cartman with a rack is a visual I could have gone my entire life without seeing. Instead, what makes this special one of my new favorites in the show's history is just how meta-contextual it ended up being, tackling the water crisis and the ongoing streaming wars in one fell swoop through in an extremely convoluted allegory.
My water pocket need water!
You'll just have to be patient. There's a lot of different streaming services now.
Yes, there's too many streaming services!
Not to mention, following up from our last South Park video on here, this special brought the biggest status quo changes from season 25 together in a seamless way. And if you're not a fan of this formula, then I have some bad news. Because this is probably what South Park's going to be for the next 3 years. So let's break down South Park's master plan in the streaming wars, and if this plan will work out in the viewer's favor, or if fans will just view it all as a loss of integrity. Also, I want to get consistent with adult animation on this channel, so if you want to see more, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, you know how it go. Check out our dope merch at Toon Drip. Now on to the video. When we chopped it up about season 25 a few months ago, my main focus was how the team behind the series struck a new balance between the goofy one-off adventures and long-form storytelling. Each episode of the shorter than usual season can just kinda exist in its own bubble if you're looking for a random episode of South Park to throw on, but a few of them did have greater effects on the show as a whole. Pajama Day introduced a South Park realtor agency, providing a vehicle to critique the housing market for as long as they want, I guess. The Big Fix established that Tolkien's name is actually Tolkien, and the Marsh family are the only ones who thought otherwise. Look at you, dummies. Oh, and Tolkien's dad starts a rival weed farm right across the road after Randy's scheme to attract black customers blows up in his face. And city people saw Cartman and his mom, Lyanne, butt heads on a scale never before seen in the series, concluding with Cartman's mom finally detaching herself from her son's whims, no longer giving in to his demands after they lose basically everything, living in a rundown hot dog joint. The other 3 episodes didn't have any major shakeups to the status quo, but did follow the season's trend of involving characters from all throughout the show's history, something that started in the string of pandemic specials. All of that being said, these 6 episodes weren't all the pieces in Matt and Trey's puzzle, and once I sat down and watched the Streaming Wars special, I finally got the bigger picture. Pajama Day, The Big Fix, and City People were all set up for the 2 specials of this year. Credit Grade Weed, South Park Realtor Agency, and Cartman being an absolute shithead are all pivotal in this special. And without the context of those adventures, you can't really follow this one to its full extent. The post-COVID specials sorta had a similar setup, with the boys no longer being friends, leading to the worst timeline for all of them, save Cartman. But I think a casual fan won't be too confused checking them out until the end of the second one. Not to mention, being the first Paramount Plus specials, you can tell they really went all out to make them feel special. Shooting the shit with my boy Johnny Two Cellos, we both realized that the streaming wars, and presumably the direction they want to take all of these specials in, treats the specials like the multi-part episodes we used to receive throughout the show's run. Like Imagination Land, the Council Wars, you get the idea. Once they pivoted into the serialized heavy seasons, multi-parters didn't make sense because every episode is technically one. While I like this plan on paper, having some fun episodes that seem disconnected but really put into motion whatever they have cooking up over on Paramount, it does very much feel like a business move more than anything else. If you want to see how certain story arcs in the TV show will end, you gotta cop a Paramount Plus subscription. But if you want to be able to understand the Paramount Plus content, you either gotta check out the new season on Comedy Central or HBO Max, and eventually Paramount Plus. Now, as a seasoned Kingdom Hearts fan, I'm used to forking over more money than reasonable to follow a story. But it's fair to say that this approach kinda sucks for the consumer, especially because HBO Max owns the rights to the series until 2025, and this is just the third of 14 specials that they owe to Paramount Plus. So odds are, again, this is just South Park now. at least for the next 3 years. So if you're not about it, you may just be better sticking to reruns and the occasional new episode for a while. And the jig is, South Park knows this is kind of fucked. The episode's meta commentary makes it very clear they're not exactly thrilled about the situation either, that streaming is a confusing mess, and they're just trying to do their own thing. But the episode's meta commentary also makes it clear that if anyone's running the streaming wars, it's them, because they're making a buttload of money off of it.
This guy paid us a shitload of money.
I paid you a shitload of money.
Yeah, we make them for whoever pays us.
However, as someone who is fortunate enough to stay in the loop with both the HBO and Paramount Plus content, I gotta say, this is leading to a South Park that's fresher than ever before. One of my favorite aspects of the string of pandemic specials that carried over into season 25 was the abundance of familiar faces getting their time to shine. Not only were the boys finally given proportionate screen time to Randy, but we had episodes where Mr. Kim, Mackie, and even Jimbo had memorable standout moments. Whereas before, we had recurring characters like Tally and Mr. Hanky, but once a lot of the adult characters were gradually phased out, you really only saw South Park's extended cast in episodes like 200 and 201. But here, the streaming wars continues this trend with the returns of Pipi and Manbearpig, in what turns out to be an unexpected villain pairing. And when you stop to think about it, yeah, it kinda makes perfect sense. Water crisis? Why would you leave out the piss-filled amusement park owner or your stand-in for climate change? And in my opinion, even if these aren't necessarily special length worthy, these are the kind of stories I want to see South Park tackle. Stories that allow them to bring back old characters, especially weirdos and antagonists, and give them something new to do in modern times. It's not like they have to give up new characters, as evident with the realtor agency and the introduction of Mr. Cussler, who dies a swift death, so all of Cartman's efforts were for naught. However, tying back into the aspect of the streaming wars, I can't help but to feel as if the return of these old characters was only justifiable because of the exclusivity and wide catalog that streaming provides. Hear me out. We all know there's like way too much South Park for a new viewer to feasibly process while keeping up with premieres. So prior to this new era, it'd be a tall order for new viewers to jump into a fresh season and fully understand what's going on with a character we haven't seen in over 10 years. But this isn't an issue anymore, because if a character we haven't seen in eons, like Pipi, pops back up, and you have no idea who that is, or your memory's a little hazy, you can now switch over to their debut episode like that. Just some food for thought. As for how this special pays off those earlier episodes, having Stan and Tolkien live right across the street from each other allows for a pretty fun dynamic with these two. It's nice for the show to actually follow through on some of the points raised in the vaccination and post-COVID specials by having the boys hang out with people other than themselves. However, I can't say I was super engaged with the integrity versus credigree aspect of the new status quo, but it enabled the streaming war jokes that absolutely floored me, so whatever. Though I hope something entertaining comes out of Tolkien's dad being missing, and the next special doesn't just have Randy getting his way, with credigree either going under or merging with integrity. But hey, corporate mergers and streaming services have eerily gone hand in hand, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's how this all shakes out. In terms of meaningful development, Cartman's standoff against his mom was by far the strongest part of the episode, and was also by far the weirdest, and considering filtered pea water was in here, that's really saying something. I hope Lyanne doesn't fold, and we see Cartman spiral further in the next installment, though something tells me his boob job will be gone before season 26 starts up, or we'll have Big Titty Cartman in the theme song for a few years. Not disturbing at all. That's all I really have to say on this special. Overall, I think South Park's headed towards an exciting direction. It just all hinges on how balls to the walls insane they want to get with these specials. The time skip in the post-COVID specials really raised the bar, but I have hope with 11 specials left to tackle. The best has only yet to come. But as always, I want to hear how this special either pissed you off or was peak South Park. With the comment section of these videos, it's one of those two all the time. So drop your hot takes in the comments down below. Let me know what you want to see in the next special, and ideally, I'll have another South Park video for you guys real soon. Be sure to give us a follow at Roundtable Vids and at AwestruckFox on Twitter and Instagram. That's right, the nerd talking about cartoons has muscles. Plugging Toon Drip once more, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace!